Hi, recently I received feedback that re-entry based strategies were becoming very difficult on TradeTron, and there should be something where we can show you how to actually build a good re-entry based strategy. So in this strategy, I'm going to focus on the re-entry aspect. So I will build a strategy where I am shorting a call at 9:20 and shorting a put at 9:20 in the morning. After my short happens, I will have something like let's say 20-25% stop loss, and after that I will have a re-entry logic so that once it comes back to its entry price. So let's say if I shorted at 100 and it takes a stop loss at 120. After that, when it comes back to 100 rupees, I will short it again for again with an SL, and I will continue this for any amount of times this happens. I will show you how to do this in this strategy, and I will also show you how to restrict it. So let's say if you need only two re-entries, or let's say if you need only five re-entries, how do you do that kind of logic? I will show you in this strategy. So let's get into it. I have already built my strategy. I'll first walk you through the simple part. The simple part is where we build our set one. So we have a 920 straddle, sell an ATM call and an ATM put. So for this, I have my set one. So in my entry condition, I have a simple time greater than 920 condition and position detail equal to number 0. Now this position detail is using entry sell all quantity Nifty 50. This is so that I do not take a re-entry in set 1. So my set 1 will trigger only one time. It will only activate at 9:20 and after that it will stop working. It will never take any trade after that. So this will be my set 1 entry logic, and of course these will be my position builders. So I will sell a call and I will sell a put with these position builders. This could be quite straightforward for regular TradeTron users. Now with this, I will add two different repair ones. Since I need a 20% stop loss on both of these, so I will add like a 20% stop loss with my repair ones. All right. So in my repair ones, I use a simple condition like leg exit. So leg exit will have a stop loss percent. So I will just change this mistake out here to stop loss percent. So once I have a stop loss of 20%, I will exit from this. You can always select something like a leg TSL also out here. Doesn't really make a difference. Now in this, I have a position builder to exit my call option. So once my entry happens, after that, if my stop loss happens, I will exit the call option. So this is again quite straightforward. Then I have a repair once condition, which does exactly the same thing. I again have a stop loss percent out here, and I'm looking at leg number 2 in my condition builder, and I have a stop loss in percent. So 20% stop loss. This part is completed. Similarly, I have built the position builder for the same, where I am using strike FX along with the square of condition. So this is quite straightforward, and this you would have otherwise also done in a lot of strategies. Now I will show you the re-entry logic that I am using. So in my set 2, I am basically so this set number 1 is supposed to be activated only once. It takes its entry, it takes the stop losses, and it will stop working. After that, my set 2 has certain conditions which I will now show you. So in my set 2, I first have a condition of traded instrument with repair ones. So what is my set 2 doing? My set 2 is basically checking for re-entry of my call option. So if my call option was entered at let's say 100, after that it becomes 120 and my stop loss gets hit. After that, if it comes back to something like 99, in that case I will want to take an entry in my call option. So in order to achieve this, I am first using a traded instrument keyword out here. So this traded instrument is with repair once. If you notice, this repair once will make sure that that this entry has happened, and after that my 20% stop loss of my call has happened. So this is somewhat ensuring that my set one call option has been completely squared off. After that, I'm now checking if LTP is less than traded instrument with entry price. So this is basically checking for this particular condition. If my entry happened at 100, after that my stop loss got triggered, and after that, if my price is less than 100, which was my entry price, if my price becomes less than 100, in that case I will take a re-entry. So in order to explain this piece of code, let me explain the logic that I'm trying to do. Okay. So in my set 2, I'm basically making sure that my set 1 has taken a trade. Then I'm making sure if my if my entry price has come, so let's say if I entered at 100, it took a stop loss, after that it came to 99, in that case I will take a re-entry. Now again I will want that after my re-entry my stop loss is there. So let's say if I entered again at 99, again if I get, let's say, a 20-point stop loss or 20% stop loss or whatever, in that case at 120 or so, again I want to exit. Now again I will check if my price has fallen below this 100 rupees or not. If it has fallen below 100 rupees, then again I will want to take a trade. So this is the kind of logic that I want to keep implementing. So you can either have a restriction of the number of times this logic happens, or you can have it done any number of times. If you need it to be done any number of times, which means it is basically an infinite loop. If it is an infinite loop, in that case, you don't need to add both these conditions. You can directly just keep up with this thing, and it will keep running properly. If you need to restrict the number of trades, so let's say your re-entry can happen only, let's say, 2 times, or let's say 3 times, or let's say 5 times. In that case, you need to add this piece of code. Okay, so this piece of code, if you notice, I'm using -50, -100. Okay, and I'll explain the position detail in a bit. Now let's say this is for a re-entry 2 times. So let's say my entry happens, then I have my price going back to my entry price. After that, again a stop loss has happened, again the price goes back to my entry price. So all of these times it will take an entry. Now let's say if I need entry 3 times, in that case I will simply not use my brain, directly copy this position detail is equal to number, and in your I will select minus 150. All right, so by now you would have understood that what I am doing is basically I'm going from 50 to 100 to 150. All right, -50, -100, -150. Now this is basically the lot size of Nifty 50. So when I'm using Nifty 50 as my instrument, I will use the lot size of Nifty 50. So -50, -100, -150. When I'm using something like Bank Nifty, I will change this. In Bank Nifty, my number out here will not be 50. It will basically be 25, because the lot size of Bank Nifty is 25, and so on. So if you need, let's say, 3 re-entries, then you will have this 1, 2, and 3 times. If you need 2 re-entries, then you will have it only 2 times. All right. So with this, I'll just quickly walk you through position detail. In position detail, I'm checking for entry. Then I'm checking at transaction type as sell and instrument as call with quantity. So this will make sure that I am looking at all the selling of call that has happened in order to take my trades. So I'll just update this and I will show you the exit condition. If you've understood this part, you've pretty much understood exactly what to do in order to build a re-entry logic. And if you haven't understood it, just duplicate the strategy and directly use it directly backtest it and use it, and test it on paper trade. If it is as per your own risk appetite, you can take it forward and live trade it. My position builder is quite straightforward. I'm using a simple call option, and in my strike FX, I'm taking the same strike that I had traded in. So my the 920 straddle, what I traded in at ATM, the same strike is what I will trade out here. And I have my exit condition also. Out here in exit, I have used the old-fashioned LTP is greater than traded instrument times number 1.25. You can of course use anything. Do make sure that in traded instrument you're using 211 and 211 in both these places. This is very important. Now I've done this a very similar thing for my put leg. In my put leg, now I'm checking for traded instrument repair once. So this is to make sure to check that my put option has been squared off. If my put option has been squared off, in that case, my repair once number 121 would have triggered. So I'm checking with traded instrument if repair once has been triggered. After that, I'm checking if LTP is less than traded instrument but 112. This is because the instrument that I'm looking at now is not my call, it is the put instrument. So I'm checking at number 112 out here. And similarly, I have done the exact same thing for my position detail. And again, the logic out here will be simple. If you need to restrict your re-entries for the put leg, let's say 1 time or 2 times, then you will use something like this. If you don't need to restrict it, you need to let it go any number of times, just remove this piece of code and it will work fine. If you need to restrict it 3 times or 4 times, just simply copy this position detail, paste it here is equal to, and in your number, instead of -100, just select -150, and you will be able to restrict it to 3 times. So that is pretty much the strategy that I have built. Again, my position builder for my put is the same. So I'm again using a simple sell of put with my strike FX as entry with 112 instrument. Um, I am now showing you the exit condition of my put, where I'm checking for LTP is greater than traded instrument 311, and I'm adding a 25% stop loss to it. And after that, finally, I'll look at my universal exit. If time is greater than 315, then I will exit the strategy. So this is quite a straightforward way of achieving a re-entry based logic. As usual, I have shared the link of this strategy in the description. Have a look at it, test it, back test it, and change the numbers. Like, you don't need to follow a 20% stop loss or a 20% 25% re-entry stop loss. You can follow whatever you like as per your own comfort zone, and based on that optimize your trading based on the performance of your backtest and paper trade reports. So thank you very much. If you have any other suggestions in terms of what we should do in future videos, feel free to drop it in the comment section below. Thank you.